Oh, good morning, and welcome to Ag Talking Raw morning, Sunday morning edition, which I don't normally do these lives on here, but today I feel that I'm going to do a live. So it always seems to me that when we pull out the soil health issue or talk on social media, there's a lot of people that are like, yes, we get higher yields and we do all this, and my organic matter climbs when I do tillage and all that. Well, okay, if you believe that, you go right on ahead. Yes, you're addicted to iron, is what I'm going to say. You're addicted to iron. No-till farming is a little more difficult to do than, say, tillage farming. Tillage farming to warm up the soil, which a lot of people have said that that's what they're using it for. We till the soil because we need to get in there earlier to get the corn in or beans in earlier. And good morning, everyone. Just got to get it in earlier, and the soil needs to warm up earlier so we can do this earlier. Well, I get it, right? I know that in the northern states, Minnesota and up there, Montana or wherever the hell you are, North Dakota, yeah, it is cold and it's cold longer, and your growing season is shorter. But yeah, I mean, if you want to till that soil, knock your socks off. I'm not telling you you can't or shouldn't. I'm just telling you that uh, you know if you want to cut expenses and grow a decent crop and stop listening to the college idiots that are sitting there telling you that, well, if you do this ripping and if you do this tilling and if you deep band that and you aerate the soil and you do this, that, and the other thing, you're going to do better than what God intended. Well, I'm going to pose this question here right now. What have human beings done better than what the Almighty Lord has done for us? Right? Because it's Sunday, I'm going to use that language. Um, what is it that human beings have touched that have outdone Mother Nature, if you want to use those terms, or God? Uh, I can honestly tell you, I don't think there is one thing that human beings have done that are greater than what God has provided for us. Yes, farming practices, yay, modern farming. We can produce these machines from the earth. We can take nutrients from the earth. We can put them into the soil, and we can make things grow. Um, but can we? Right? So we've destroyed quorum sensing through modern agriculture. You don't know what quorum sensing is? I'm sorry. In Mother Nature. The only place that erosion is evident is in streams and lakes, or streams and rivers, and coastlines. You will see erosion when there is an ice break and it strips the vegetation off of the riverbanks and brings them down to bare soil, and you will see greater erosion there. So when you put a plow in the ground, I'm not against everybody plowing. If there's a need for it, if you want to do it. I know that a lot of people just love it when I go out there with my vertical tillage machine and I do this vertical tillage thing. I seed wheat with a vertical tillage machine just to seed depth. So the reason I chose a true vertical tillage machine, not one of these accelerator high-speed discs or optimizer high-speed discs or Terra Max high-speed disc, I went with a true straight blade vertical tillage machine. Wasn't to do deep tillage with. I only cut to seed depth, and that is okay in a ultra minimum tillage. Oh my God, this road is so ridiculous. Ultra minimum tillage way of farming. You can do straight no till with a roller crimper, right? Straight no-till with a roller crimper, if you can crimp that cover crop down. I chose to use a vertical tillage machine because we have heavy clay soil here, and it does loosen the seed bed. It does loosen up the seed bed enough to easily slice that seed into the soil. It's not like we're in this sandy silt loam freaking soil. It's clay. It's heavy clay. So well, whatever. I'm not here to explain to myself as to why I do what I do, but I am here to say that it is an acceptable practice in the regenerative agriculture community, if you want to call this a community, to do a seed bed preparation type of thing with, cutting no more than the seed depth. You don't destroy the soil structure by cutting down to the seed depth, because the aggregates are farther below. They're down about 3 inches or more where they form. You'll never get aggregates at the top part of it. That's where the worms and the organic matter or the organic residue lay, in that top 2 to 3 inches. By plowing your ground, and you can tell me that you're building organic matter by plowing the ground. I'm going to tell you, no, you're not. When you introduce all that oxygen to the soil, deep where the organic matter is actually being produced, you are burning up that organic matter by the increase of biology, that flash of biology that breaks it down. Now, a lot of guys, and they want to talk Midwest, where there were prairies for millions of years. The East Coast, the coast east and probably West Coast for the most part, in areas that look like this, do not have that heavy, deep-rooted prairie grass. It just wasn't here. And I mean, it may have been here, but I do believe that this area of the country was nothing but trees, old growth timber. But I'm not telling you not to do the plowing. If it works for you, that's okay. I'm just trying to give people an insight into the way Mother Nature works, or the way God intended it to work, with biology and fungus and roots and different types of grasses and plants that grow throughout the meadows, because God never really intended human beings to till and farm the way we do today, right? He may have intended us to do hunting and gathering and things like that, but for what I understand, biblically and biologically, that human beings aren't designed to live on plants, or it's a combination. We're omnivores. So, when I hear people say, well, I can get everything I need from plants and live and be super healthy, I'm sure you can, with a combination of the right plants, find the essential amino acids, or you could just eat meat and have all of them in that nice little package there. That nice package. Not to say that vegetables are not to complement the food you're eating. It's perfectly fine. I like potatoes. I like onions. I like garlic. I like raw carrots, not cooked ones. I like asparagus and string beans. I love that stuff. Again, you also have to realize that carrots, the nice red long carrots that we eat, are genetically modified, touched by man's hands. They were not put here by God. Same thing with apples and pears and plums and peaches. Those have been a mutated crop that has been mutated for literally 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Pomegranates, things like that. They take it's all done through the breeding process. So when you go and you get yourself a nice, oh, my hand is asleep, a nice Honey Crisp apple that you think is, put here by God's hands, it's not. The original apple was just this tart little thing that was about like that big, and I do believe you can still find them in the crab apple and thorn apple trees and things like that. Were they edible? Yeah, they were, but they were bitter as shit, and you just can't hardly stand to eat them. But through a breeding process by very, very old people that are dead for thousands of years, they started to change those crops into what they are today. I just love it when vegetarians say, well, I only eat what God intended me to eat. Well, okay. The problem is the vegetables that you're eating, they were touched by man. Yes, the rootstocks were here. They were put here by the good Lord himself. Maybe you were supposed to eat it. Maybe you weren't supposed to eat it. But the problem is that human hands have changed it, and what you think is a super healthy thing, like say potatoes. Oh yeah, it's good to eat potatoes. It's in the nightshade family. Tomatoes, nightshade family. Peppers, nightshade family. Nightshade is deadly poison. You could take a nightshade plant, graft on a potato root, like a Yukon or whatever, to that nightshade plant. You could could graft on peppers, hot, sweet, bell, all those different peppers. If you didn't know, like the cayenne pepper, those are named after the people that produced them, genetically modified them. Bell peppers. Think about that. And it's like the Bing cherry. Bing cherries are not natural. Those were genetically modified by human hands. So when you're going down that grocery food aisle and you think that God put those vegetables that you're about to eat on this earth, they didn't. Do we grow them? Yes. Do we eat them? Absolutely. Do they taste good? 100%. Pineapples, you know, again, a pineapple. I'm not sure how a pineapple came to be, but I can't eat a modern pineapple because they're genetically modified. Yes, you need fat in your diet. Fat promotes brain health. Absolutely. Putting a child on a vegetarian diet is basically shrinking the kid's brain, the child's brain. But anyways, we're not going to debate that. What we're talking about is the soil health and how no matter how you slice it and dice it, there is a detriment to the soil when you put iron in the ground and you drag it across and you fluff it up. Yes, you will grow that crop, that man-made crop, that corn crop, that soybean crop, that vegetable crop, no matter what it is. You will, you are destroying the soil structure. Um, by doing no-till and cover cropping, hopefully, and I'm hoping to gain a greater understanding as I go through this, I would like to achieve quorum sensing. So quorum sensing is basically when the biology and the plants that are in the ground speak to one another and break down the nutrients that are already in the soil. If you were to do a Haney test, just pull that soil sample, send it out, and do a Haney test. It will tell you how many thousand years of potash, phosphate, and all the other nutrients that are stuck in that soil, bound to the clay, and down because of the plow and the lack thereof quorum sensing. Uh, so, yeah, right? So when we destroyed the quorum sensing, we have to put something else there. 150 years ago? Well, not even. Just say 100 years ago. We put down animal waste, manure. We used fish guts and animal guts and things like that to produce nitrogen, phosphate, potassium for the growing plants. Whereas quorum sensing just puts it into the growing crop. Chemicals, yes, I use them. I'm not going to get away from them. I'm going to use them with the knowledge that what they do is detrimental to the soil and possibly my very own health. But as a farmer, I'm not going to get away from it. I'm just going to use them and utilize them in smaller quantities if I can. And I suggest that a lot of people look into it because, quite honestly, you know why we have low pricing on corn, soybeans, wheat, and basically all farm products across the board? Is because we're overproducing. You ever look at your portfolio and say, why is it that my grandparents were able to uh, buy farms, pay for farms, raise families, have new equipment, have new cars, take a vacation, and here I am, a slave to the bank and the iron companies. And I can't buy a farm and fully expect to pay for it without some other source of income. Think about that. Big money in beef today, right? Sure. Until a lot of people put on a lot of beef. That was a guy with a cigarette stuck in his nose. Stuck in his nose. A cigarette up his nose. That's interesting. Welcome to New Jersey. You'll see weird stuff. You use compost, animal manure, mixed lawns. Yeah, if you see the video that I'm going to post on One Lonely Farmer today, you will see that I am putting down an organic fertilizer product. It produces it promotes the biology in the soil. It won't kill the biology in the soil. And hopefully it's enough to offset what I'm going to do when I terminate it with glyphosate this week or today even. I don't think I want to spray today, but I gotta get this damn I gotta get the alfalfa in the ground, and I gotta spray off the cover crop. I gotta get it killed. And in order for me to do that, it's kind of going to be a pain in the neck, but I'm going to do it. But anyhow, you know, uh, using P and K, or for alfalfa. What is in potassium? Chlorine. A lot of chlorine is in potassium. That's potassium chloride. So you have to gas off the chlorine. That's why a lot of people put potassium or potash on in the winter, fall, in the fall or the winter, so the soil has a chance to recover after the chlorine gas is off. That's just the way that works. Now, not a cop. Could be a cop. He's coming up pretty quick. I don't want to go any faster than that. Not a cop. Anyway, yeah. So put it on in the spring, and you destroy the biology. I could buy land in the 40s prices and pay 40s taxes. Regen ag would further limit inputs while still allowing a modest crop to grow and harvest, resulting in a profit. That's how our grandparents did it. Our great-grandparents did it. That's how it was done. It wasn't done in this modern way. Yes, they plowed last year. Quite honestly, if they would have known what we know today about what is going on beneath our feet, they probably never would have put a plow in the ground. They would have done something differently. A strip till system. I'm a firm believer in strip tillage. I really am. And if you could band like that organic fertilizer that I get, if you could band that over top of that strip or in that strip, I think that you would still be able to achieve quorum sensing and maintain that quorum sensing within that strip till. And it would just utilize the nutrients that are in the soil. But I don't know. That technology well, it's not that the technology is there. It's very expensive. So what you would save in the strip till machine, or what you would save in fertilizer by utilizing the strip till machine, is you can cut your fertilizer cost down by a third by doing that. And if you could do it with organics as well, organic fertilizers, a blend of them, composts and other things, I think that you could have a really good go of it. It does take iron. And that's again. But if you can do a strip till for coulters, and not destroy the aggregates beneath, you're just loosening the top. with coulters, like wavy coulters. I do believe there's a shank, and the shank that's behind it that places that fertilizer in there, uh, the shank is only going to go down, what, 4 inches? So you got a 4 inch disturbance that's maybe 4 inches deep, 4 inches wide by the time that the fractures and stuff. If you can deal with that, you may, you do keep most of the aggregate, most of your water infiltration, most of the quorum sensing, most of the worm activity, and you're able to grow a rather high yielding crop versus doing the no-till or just what I'm doing with the vertical tillage machine. I think what I'm doing with the vertical tillage machine seems to work the best for me. Maybe it won't work the best for others, but never put anything any deeper than your seed depth. With the strip till, I think you could get away with doing it, but it's something that you have to do. I do believe you really want to do it in the fall, so that that soil has time to expel the chlorine from the potash and the phosphate, or the acidity of the phosphate. And yeah, I had one guy tell me, he says, I've been plowing all my life, and my pH has never dropped below 6.5. Well, congratulations, you probably sit on limestone. We don't. I sit on shale. Lime is a big thing here in shale ground. Clay ground is very acidic because there's just no limestone there. I have to bring limestone in. But clay, if you do the proper or the natural way of maintaining a pH, it is done through quorum sensing and organic root masses in soil without disturbing the roots, and healthy biology, mycorrhizal fungi and all that stuff. But I would invest in strip till. I really would. The thing is, I don't know for soybeans because I grow on 7.5 inch rows spacing. I don't need a strip till for that. That would just simply be broadcast fertilizer, and the what I'm doing with cover crops. The corn is where it would be. So this year I'm only going to grow 300 acres of corn. That's it. 300 acres of corn in today's market, good move. And so, I mean, got to go because I got to tell my wife that there's a traffic jam. She's not with me on this, and she's coming up pretty soon. So you guys enjoy. I'll leave it up. There's no need for me to take it down, and people can. I don't agree with cursing every word, but I miss the flavoring. This is the Sunday show. This is the Sunday show, and I'm on my way